You're changing history, you're changing culture, and you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally.
Abraham Lincoln here is one of the most racist presidents we've had in modern history.
We're trotting out and peddling the most racist, sexist, bigoted stereotypes.
And their colleagues have distorted the facts.
Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Excuse me, Hunter. Apparently you're afraid of my words.
Hunter Biden is not above the law. We want to send him to the DOJ, and we want to trust the DOJ to do their job.
I want my Republican colleagues to give me one thing, that I can go campaign on and say we did.
The bill, as I say, codifies one definition of anti-Semitism. A definition that the author says shouldn't be codified.
RICO is not a crime. They want to act like they blind. They don't know what this is. These are our national secrets. Looks like in the shitter to me.
Leadership of the plans to get them back into chambers. That would have been call number 3 with Speaker Pelosi.
You didn't have one call, you didn't have 2 calls, you had 3 calls. So Speaker Pelosi's comments that she didn't speak to were inaccurate.
That is correct, sir.
Welcome to the Off Label Podcast, your daily dose of sanity in an insane world. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate every single fucking one of you. Members only, I apologize to every one of you. We cut the members only short tonight to bring it to you this right here. But hey, it was the shittiest show we ever threw together because we did that at just a... Look, you're getting something out of it now, right? Ladies and gentlemen, it looks like the Iranian base, Fordow. The one that everybody's been talking about, that deep underground nuclear base. Apparently, it has been hit, and Trump's saying it's destroyed. We're going to take first look at this as much as we can gather tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you can get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing. Won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless. I'll make it look like I'm losing. Won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless.
Davey, go ahead and read.
From Donald Trump, Donald J. Trump on Truth. We have completed our very successful attack on the 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. All planes are now outside of Iran Air Force Base. A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary sites, Fordow. All planes are safely on their way home. Congratulations to our great American warriors. There is not another military in the world that could have done this. Now it's time for peace. Thank you for your attention in this matter.
All right, brother. So, let's get into it. Like I was saying before with the members only thing, I got to know how this happened. I got to know what they dropped. I got to know what happened with this whole thing. They were talking about bunker busters. They were talking about nukes, tactical nukes. What did they use? Because there's a lot of shit running around right now about this, and apparently they just did it out of the fucking blue. Wasn't he saying he was going to wait 2 weeks?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, but here's the first image that we got.
Let's go to your screen real quick. Go ahead and restart. You are good to go. Go ahead and restart it.
Yeah, I got it. So that was the first images that we saw. Then this came out.
Let that play for a little bit.
And let's see what else. All right. So then they issued a statement. Supposedly, this is a statement. Iranian better have. It says, "Thank God, Iran better keep their nuclear site information private." It says, "We have got our first reaction from Iran. The deputy political director of Iran state broadcast, Hassan Abadani, has appeared live on state TV just now. He says Iran evacuated these 3 nuclear sites a while ago. He also says that even if that what Trump says is true, Iran did not suffer a major blow because the materials had already been taken out." So they're saying that there was nothing there. Let's go to Brett Baer.
But that was how they were creating it. Is that can't just be a storage area. That's where they were creating this shit, though. Deluxe, thank you for the 2. Thank goodness I can't stand YouTube censor chat. I know, right? But hey, child mind molesters got through on that one. But go ahead with this.
President of the United States that there has been an attack inside Iran. Just moments ago, President Donald Trump putting out on Truth Social, "We have completed our very successful attack on 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. All planes are now outside of Iran airspace." Again, this from President Donald Trump. "A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Fordow. All planes are safely on their way home. Congratulations to our great American warriors. There is not another military in the world that could have done this. Now is the time for peace. Thank you for your attention to this matter." Again, that's just seconds ago from President Donald Trump on Truth Social, suggesting that those B-2 bombers that perhaps were on the way may have been behind this. We'll get more details on these 3 sites that the president said has been attacked inside Iran. This comes after days of negotiations to try to get Iran to the negotiating table. The president of the United States saying it would have to be unconditional surrender, saying enrichment would have to stop. We heard from negotiations in Europe that was not being accepted by the Iranians, that they would not stop enriching uranium. There was a thought that this could go as long as 2 weeks, as the president said he would decide within 2 weeks. However,
is Rumble going on your side? Because it's still saying upcoming on mine.
From President Donald Trump that these attacks have happened.
Oh, shit. Hold on.
It says 8:30, that's why.
But it should have gone live when I hit this. Unless.
It still says.
Let me get this worked out. How about this?
All right.
Let's switch to my screen right quick. We're going to listen to this live now from Fox and listen to what they're going on. Let me fix this real quick. Oh, wait.
Inventory, and they use Tomahawk missiles. Now, I'm going to tell you from someone who's, actually, been in charge or commanded teams that do this stuff where we.
Yeah, it says we're
I've
live.
always been a fan of Tomahawk missiles.
Oh, it says we're.
I'm just going to tell you, I like employing them. Okay. I know that's a little strange, but
It's under the worst show ever
produced
produced instead.
Weapon. And one thing is that
I
they
forgot
don't
to switch
have
it.
to be there. Obviously, there's no crew that's put into harm's way, and if you launch them, they can be launched a variety of different ways. Submarine launched is one of the ways they can be launched, but they can be launched a number of different ways. Extremely capable. They got a huge warhead, and for taking out those facilities, that probably is the best weaponeering decision. So I think that's very interesting. Not the first time that we have used Tomahawk missiles in the Middle East, and I think that was probably a very good choice. But I would expect nothing less from the planners at U.S. Central Command, that they would come up with a course of action that is what you just laid out.
Let's talk about some of the other angles to this. So the Tomahawks being used on 2 sites, the 30,000 pound bombs, 6 of them being dropped on Fordow, Hal. As we learn more about this, and again, I'll just reiterate here, Sean Hannity reports 6 bunker-busting bombs were dropped on Fordow from Air Force B-2 bombers, and then Isfahan and Natanz were targeted with those Tomahawk cruise missiles from submarines. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about where this goes from here. We discussed this a little bit earlier in the evening. One of the most common questions I get from viewers is the U.S. entering a war? And Israel and Iran have already been fighting. Now the U.S. is getting involved in that fight. Does that mean the U.S. is at war?
There's no declaration of war. We haven't had declaration of war since World War II. I don't know if Congress would be too inclined to declare war on Iran. And
sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we are now live on Rumble.
The clock has already started ticking based on what I've seen. But what I will say is this: we are now part of this conflict, part of this war, if you will. I think it's certainly fair to say that Iran and Israel are at war, and we have now entered in as a party to that conflict on the side of Israel, obviously, and so we are a party to it. The question is, what will Iran do? Will Iran now try to broaden the conflict to start targeting U.S. facilities, bases, assets, interests in the region and potentially out of the region? Will they try to do that? And if they do, then I'm sure there's a lot of contingency plans, as I mentioned, branches and sequels of the current plan as to how to best address
for those who want to go there.
Dealing with that.
What up, Chicken Little?
I have to think that within Tehran, within the Iranian people, once this information has been disseminated, once it's been absorbed, once the information is sort of metastasized, if you will, within the body politic of Iran, there's going to be some very deep questions about the regime. And part of it will be,
you got the last night on the other side there.
Perform as a government to do that core function of protecting Iran and the Iranian people. And everything I say now.
All right, Davey, let's hit up yours. Restart yours real quick. Is that the from? Yeah, okay. That's from CNN. Scroll down. Now let's do the CNN one. Okay. I want to see what they say.
Canada. Kimid, I'm wondering what you make of this announcement by the president and the decision to act now.
Well, I'm fascinated, and candidly, I'm impressed. I never really could understand what the 2-week pause meant or what it was for. What was left to negotiate? What were we going to expect the Iranians to offer? In many ways, it was much like a Trump deal. I mean, he's trying to make a deal to buy an apartment, but all of a sudden the apartment was destroyed. So where's the negotiation? So I think the use of deception and trickery in this case, first of all, was successful, but second of all, saved the potential loss of American lives.
Okay, Mitt, I'm wondering what you make.
All right. Hit the next one above this.
Destroys capital deep underground, but also Isfahan and Natanz. This effectively destroys Iran's capability to enrich uranium at this level that they would need. There are thousands of centrifuges in these sites, and the fact that the Americans have the bombs and have decided to use them to strike deep underground puts Iran in a position where at some point it will have to make a decision about the future of this regime, because the Israelis went after many of the air defense systems around these nuclear sites. They went after the sites that they could target with the fighter jets that they have. We talked with those Israeli pilots earlier in the week, and now tonight President Trump ordering this strike, importantly against the Fordow nuclear facility deep underground, very close to the Iranian capital of Tehran, indicating that this strike will not only damage but likely destroy, if successful, Iran's nuclear program and their ability to go and get closer and closer to a nuclear weapon. We expect to get more reaction from Israeli officials tonight, Brett, about this key strike that will change the course of the Middle East forever, and also what they believe the Iranian response will be, if any, to these strikes. The Iranians still have the capability to strike Israel with their ballistic missiles.
All right.
And then we got one more.
Hold on. Let's hit this real quick.
Capital deep
is
I got to meet you for a sec.
that we're going to have to look at these other things that are in play now that previously were not fully in play.
Okay, so we're hearing that Benjamin Netanyahu has spoken with Trump. Barack Ravid says such. We know that Trump has spoken with Barack Ravid, with Netanyahu, and he's spoken with Fox's Sean Hannity. And we expect Trump to address the nation from the White House at the top of the hour. 10 o'clock Eastern time is when we'll expect President Trump's remarks. I'm going to reset for anybody new joining us. The U.S. has struck Iran 3 different sites. They are directly joining Israel's effort to decapitate the country's nuclear program. It's a gambit to weaken a longtime foe amid Tehran's threats of reprisals that could spark a wider regional conflict. There was no immediate acknowledgement from the Iranian government, although we did hear eventually that they did acknowledge that 3
So it is us. We did it.
Yep.
We did it.
Yeah, it said it in his statement.
I know, but there was kind of like, hey, did we arm kind of situation? Did we give them, like we were saying, did Israel do it or did we do it?
Congratulations to our great American warriors. There is not another military in the world that could have done this. He said it. He fucking said it.
You haven't justified it. I mean, yes, there probably is some nuclear shit going on down there. And that's why I'm holding on to the hope that maybe you are fucking correct, but we need to know now. All right, let's go back to your screen for a little bit. You had that one video. Here we go.
The one with Brett Baer and
I know working the phones, sometimes phones mid-live shot, as getting more information about what has transpired here. Jennifer, thoughts?
Well, Brett, I think, yes, so my phone has been literally ringing off the hook. But what I would say is that it's notable how much deception was involved in this operation. All eyes were looking west towards Guam and the B-2s that took off late last night towards Guam. It's possible but if the distance there would suggest that the B-2s may have also flown east from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri. Remember, the air refuelers, many of them were placed in Europe and across the Middle East, and that is what is known as an air refueling bridge. And all of those B-2s would require much air refueling in order to make it they usually fly round trip from Whiteman. And so what we can say, and the president said this in his Truth Social post, is that a full payload of bombs, those massive ordnance penetrators, the 30,000-pound bunker buster bombs, were dropped at Fordow. And as we have reported, there are 2 entrances to Fordow. So at least 2 bombs at each 2 entrances, which suggests at least 2 B-2s were involved over Fordow. My suspicion is that there were more. And then you have the 2 other sites, Natanz, which is also has an underground enrichment facility. The Israelis had not been able to reach or take out that facility despite the last 10 days of bombing. And so now U.S. warplanes, likely another B-2 bomber, had dropped that MOP, the 30,000-pound bunker buster, on Natanz. And then you also have Isfahan, a 3rd site south of Tehran. And that is also a very significant enrichment facility. So those B-2 bombers, it's possible that as everybody was looking west for the B-2s flying towards Guam, that in fact there was another package of squadron of B-2s that were flying east from Whiteman. It's about a 15-hour trip from Whiteman in Missouri to the Middle East, to Iran. And those bombers often fly round trip, and it takes them about 30 hours to get home. But they are out of danger.
So you're fucking telling me the whole thing, the move from Guam was they turned all their shit towards Guam, and then they came in. It was that easy?
No, they just said they were going to Guam, and they didn't go to fucking Guam. They were like, "Yeah, no, we're going to Guam."
No. What I'm getting at, dude, is our troop movement has always been plastered everywhere.
Yeah,
for a long ass time. These motherfuckers said, "Yeah, we're gonna stage 2 of them in Guam." They're looking for 2 in Guam, and we just sneak up with a fucking badass smacking with a dick. I'm sorry, dude. I told you it's our mess to clean up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering how they cleaned it up, though. Tomahawk missiles and shit. Come on.
Deluxe don't know.
Deep underground, though.
I get Trump. I would double down and help. They did directly threaten Trump's life at the 2023 G6 conference. Saw that on Crowder's show. And Third Rail says, "I'm so fucking pissed."
I don't know. Maybe we might be allowed to just transfer over. But is he going live? Are you going live, Third Rail?
Would it transfer to the 3?
We can hand it off to him when we're done for the night. Oh shit, I closed down. God damn it. I'm an asshole. Hold on.
Which?
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm a dick.
20 minutes, he said.
Danger tonight. They are not in Iranian airspace anymore, according to the president. The other thing I can point out, Brett, is that this is an operation in the last 18 years since I've been at the Pentagon. I've never seen such operational security. There was nobody speaking about this, any of the preparations. There was a complete lockdown, almost a blackout of information for the last few days. I'm sitting here in the Pentagon right now. I can tell you the hallways are empty, and all of the information is coming right now out of the White House. That is a significant achievement because there were no leaks about the timing. Now, sometimes I think those who, a lot of the flight trackers, the open source intelligence flight trackers, that flight radar did indicate some of when the B-2s took off from Whiteman. But again, nobody really expected that it would take place this evening. If you looked at the moon schedule, you might have had a clue because it was a waning crescent and almost a new moon on the 25th. So
What's
it would have been very, very
anything?
dark over Iran tonight, and you need that in order to.
Okay, that had a point. Yeah. Okay, I was just like, why do we have to look? She has a point. Visual radar, our visual sight. Yeah.
Adam says, when they show you a map of the planes flying to Guam, you might as well just show a graphic of Santa Claus leaving the North Pole.
I mean, yeah. Honestly, though, if this is what it took, it's amazing as fuck. What up, Justine? How you doing? We got Michael coming in. Rhoda Bennett.
And it's amazing. Like she said, nobody opened their fucking mouth.
What up, Gypsy? No, they didn't.
The people who knew about it didn't open up their fucking mouth.
Come on, try to keep up. I'm trying to throw y'all in while we're doing this, but
more seconds.
To bomb, or that's the ideal condition for something like a B-2 that is, yes, it's stealth, but it still has to be escorted in case any Iran were to put up any planes or there were any opportunities to fire on those B-2s, which are such valuable and very, very special planes. Only the U.S. military has this kind of weaponry and this capability. No other country in the world could have carried off what occurred tonight at those 3 uranium enrichment sites.
Okay. Let's go back to mine.
Jen Griffin.
If I was, in Hezbollah, this is what I would now be looking at. If I was Hamas, this is what I'd now be looking at. If I was the Houthis, I'd be looking at. And when you build a consensus and
Adam
an
Chester, my
understanding that
nuts,
comes out
as
of this
in
process,
Admiral Chester
that will
Nimitz.
guide your decisions going forward. But part of that would be that something like this could lead to the end of what some might call the influence of the Shiite crescent. And just for those who don't know, there are 2 dominant faith groups, if you will, within Islam. One is Sunni, and that's Saudi Arabia is kind of the lead for that. All right. And the other is Shiite, and Iran is the lead for that. Now, of the 2, the Sunnis far outnumber the Shiites, but in Iran, the Shiites way outnumber the Sunnis. In Iraq, the Sunnis are actually the majority of the population. The Shiites are the majority of the population. The Assad family was from the Alawites, which are Shiite. And then in Lebanon, Hezbollah really captures predominantly the representation of the Shiites within there. But the society is broken down between Sunnis, Shiites, and then Christians for the most part in Lebanon. And then you see various pockets of Shiite stuff, such as you see with the Houthis as well.
Deluxe, thank you for the 10. Fuck, I need a damn Starlink in my tractor. This cell phone data sucks. The big juicy donkey balls out here in this field, no matter how low I set the video quality.
So Russian news is reporting that Iranian radio and TV reporting that the damage was limited to only 2 tunnels, the entrance and exit of Fordow.
Okay, so share the video.
I don't think it's showing it. Yeah, it's not showing much.
Well, I mean, if you're sealing off entrances, main entrances.
Well, hold on. Look at this. Watch this one over here.
Turn it up all the way.
Oo, gemiyi vuruyorlar.
Now, that was a fucking shockwave, though.
Yeah.
Oo, gemiyi vuruyorlar.
Shit.
That was a lot. So they said that America dropped 6 GBU-57 bunker buster bombs at Fordow nuclear site. And it's just giving me an illustration of what...
Yeah, that's what we played the other night.
Yeah.
Just a long, drawn-out version of it. But yeah,
I mean, fuck around and find out there.
The explosion? Oh my god, what is that? Hold up. What does this say? What does it say beforehand, though?
Hold on. It says from Dr. Waleed Faris. How strange. I witnessed these explosions just before my debate on whatever news. And then I learned of POTUS announcements while on air. Right before that, I mentioned that Donald Trump would make a calculated move. He will still extend an invitation to the regime to talk, but what is there left to discuss? They lost their final card. As I pointed out a few days ago, Trump holds the cards. He has the ability to shift the environment, and indeed he has. I suggest the president consider further changes to the environment.
All right, play the video. They don't look like tactical news, though. Maybe these are bunker busters. Now, see, that don't look tactical. Hold up. We need to go to my screen real quick. Let me pull it back a second.
What we heard from President Trump on social media right after it happened. This, in fact, was the announcement about the strike itself. We expect the president to speak on camera from the White House at the top of the hour in 14 minutes. He says, "We have completed our very successful attack on the 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. All planes are now outside of Iran airspace. A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Fordow. We've now since learned that it was 6 B-2 bombers, 3 B-2s that dropped 6
That's the point,
bunker
Bruce.
busters on Fordow. Trump says all planes are safely on their way home.
Most of the force
President
is
says
underground.
congratulations to our great American warriors. There is not another military in the world that could have done this, he says. Now is the time for peace. Thank you for your attention to this matter, he says. So, I gotta focus in on the second to last.
Nick Sorter says, breaking. President Trump sent multiple decoy bombers west out of the U.S., juking Iranian forces while the B-2s actually dropping the bombs went east undetected. This threw everybody timing off, including the medias. Iran did not expect a bombing tonight. Slick.
I fucking told you, dude. I fucking told you.
Holy shit.
He's sending them to Guam. And hey, we plaster it all over the fucking place. We're doing this because this is what we always do, right? And then he just came up in the back door and just slung his fucking dick around. However, even if it's just the entrances, you've sealed off a good little bit of it.
Yeah.
At least you give people the time enough to get the fuck out. Whatever's going on there. I don't know. Should we take it boots on the ground now? I think it's Israel's time to clean up the mess now.
Hold on.
Let's go to your screen again. All right. Thanks, volume.
And welcome to Hannity. We begin tonight with this Fox News alert. I just spoke to the President of the United States. I have some new information and breaking details to share about tonight's what is historic air campaign. Now, tonight, Iran's nuclear ambitions, they are officially dead. It appears the United States just completely obliterated Iran's top secret Fordow nuclear facility with 6 huge bunker buster bombs. It was originally speculated that you would only need 2. It turns out they used 5 to 6 dropped from America's stealth B-2 bombers.
Right.
And that's not all. 2 other major.
You say you only need 2, so what does he do? Triple it.
He just 6. He said, I'm going to drop 6. I'm going to pave paradise and put up a parking lot. Ooh, nah.
Hold on. This actually as 6 of them? The 6 of them, you might have actually done it. Not gonna lie. Go ahead.
Sean says, laugh my ass off, bomb them, and ask for peace. I know.
Now is Iranian nuclear sites, Natanz and Esfahan. were wiped out with 30 Tomahawk missiles launched by American submarines some 400 miles away. Everyone is out of harm's way for now. That does not mean that American assets in the region are not at risk.
Somebody's got to get Omni. Next round. Somebody's got to get Omni. Omni and Gypsy. Let's bring him into the group. Bruce Wayne as well. Come on. Yeah, let's go back to mine for a while.
Yeah.
It goes to their core identity of what the regime represents. And I'm sure they're afraid that if they actually agree to this thing, it could be the tipping point where the regime no longer, is no longer in power.
We expect President Trump to address the nation in 10 minutes. I just got a new report in from Fox News's Trey Yingst. He put together this package. He catches us up on everything that's happened in recent hours. Here's Trey.
Yeah, Brett, good evening. This has been the talk of Israel for the past several days as the country waited to see if the Americans would get directly involved in the conflict. And even up in the last few hours, I was talking with current and former sources, trying to get an understanding of when this might happen. And at 1:55 local time, one source said, rumors, Trump gave the word, supposed to be happening now. We were working on tracking it down, and the president taking to Truth Social to say the Americans did indeed strike 3 separate Iranian nuclear facilities, including the Fordow nuclear facility deep underground outside of the Iranian capital of Tehran. The bottom line here is that people are talking about enrichment. They understand that this decision was made because the Iranians were increasing their uranium enrichment capabilities and increasing the purity closer and closer to weapons-grade material. And the concern was that the Iranian regime was just weeks away from being able to build a nuclear bomb. We've seen over the past 9 days, the country has the ability to strike major population centers here in Israel with ballistic missiles. So you can imagine that having a nuclear warhead that could ultimately be attached to a ballistic missile would clearly be a direct threat to the Jewish state. And that was why the Israelis said that they made the decision to start these strikes against Iranian nuclear facilities and against top IRGC officials. And clearly tonight, President Trump ordering these strikes against the Iranian regime's nuclear program because there was no off-ramp for diplomacy at this point. And so this is a historic moment in the Middle East tonight, and again, an opportunity for the region, as the president laid out in his statement, for peace in the future, because this is a region that understands peace through strength.
Trey Yingst reporting earlier today.
The Truth Social to say the Americans did indeed strike 3 separate...
minutes away.
All right.
From expecting President Trump to address the nation. We're expecting it.
Let's go ahead and mute you. Go back to your screen. What was that? Hit it back up.
Hold on. Well, no, I think it was the same one, but here we have this guy. It says, Iran propaganda TV just said, Mr. Trump, you started it and we will end it. They better tone it down before it's too late. They're definitely...
You gotta unmute. Go ahead.
They're definitely a legit target of Iran. The U.S. has committed a crime against Iran by violating Iran's airspace and airspace. It has no place in the West Asia region. Mr. President of the United States, you started it, and we will finish it.
God damn it. This is going to go. It's popping. It's fucking popping. All right, back to mine for a sec. We're getting close to that time frame.
The ability of
Gotta
Iran to
listening.
make a nuclear weapon. Now that's pretty
I got
darn
my camera off still
because Iran has been playing with trying to build a nuclear weapon for a very long time.
Oh, I'll give it back.
And for decades. And we have now kinetically taken that off. So that's very historic. It's also historic in that it's also opened up the possibility that the U.S. could get pulled into a war with Iran. That's historic. Some would say ominous that's taken place, but it was a calculated risk that we assumed in doing what we did. And I think depending on what happens in Iran, depending on what happens with the regime there, the longevity of the regime there, historians may come back and look at this as a big turning point in terms of Iranian history. And by the way, if Iran ceases to be this nemesis in the region, ceases to be this fomenter of terrorism for not just in the Middle East, but terrorism all over the world, but particularly in the Middle East. This, that's been
Ladies and gentlemen, we live next to a military
Shiite
base,
militia
Redstone
groups,
Arsenal.
Hezbollah, Hamas.
Black Hawk was just headed that way.
The perpetrator was basically behind the October 7th attack being able to take place. If this is, and of course, not to mention the Houthis, basically stopping shipping in one of the globe's most important sea lanes for the amount of time that they had. If this is taken off, it changes the entire strategic picture of the Middle East because Iran is so important.
Apparently, my wife says there's another one. She can hear it.
And also in terms of location for China, because they're such an important supporter of Russia in providing them drones and ballistic missiles and everything else. This could be one of those pivotal points where we see a big change, the second, third order effects of what just happened. And we could say this completely changed the map across the world in terms of strategic balance of power. It could be something that big, but then again, we'll have to see.
Regime change keeps coming up a lot. What does our largely American audience need to know about the Iranian regime? And conversely, what do they need to know about the general Iranian public at large, the populace?
Well, first thing is the Iranian public at large, about 89% of them can't stand the regime. They hate them. They've tried multiple times on the streets, to basically overthrow, basically create enough social gravitas to overthrow a regime. They have not been able to pull that off. And the regime has been absolutely horrific in its response, sweeping people off the streets, doing these executions, very public way of making a point, imprisoning political dissenters, everything. I mean, they're a very unpopular regime for a lot of all the reasons that a regime would be very unpopular. They're also this regime that does not allow any sort of free elections or anything we consider. They scope in the elections, so only the parties or the candidates that they will handpick are ever allowed to show up on the ballot, and then they pretty much put their thumb on the scale to make sure that whomever they want is a person that's elected. And then over the government is this, the supreme leader and his council, which are all a bunch of theocrats.
Iranians are
that basically control the country. So that's what it is, and it's this Shiite extremist belief.
Tony Hay with the 10 membos. Thank you very much, Tony Hay. Welcome in, Henry K, Susan, Alpha She-Wolf, the Mirror Man, L, Nancelot 13, Laz Maniac, Robin Camp, Dark Insider.
I know a lot of them names. 1, 2,
Welcome in.
3. I don't know. I don't think Gypsy and Omni, and definitely Steve-O, I don't think they can get gifts. Y'all need to look at your settings with all that. Check it out. We need y'all in here. But let's continue.
Anyway, they have kind of built their brand on this thing, that they have this constant struggle, conflict, whatever, with Israel and the West. And part of that goes back into the history of Iran. The Shah of Iran, when he came into power in 1953, kind of the U.S.
Be the one says, you think this will solve Ukrainian war quicker? Trump may say you got 2 weeks. Boom. Now, here's the thing. The Ukrainian war was done literally like the end of 2023 or so, when Russia controlled all 3 regions that it wanted and didn't fucking move. All they've done is just hold that territory this entire time while everybody else is saber rattled. There you go.
Tony Hay with the 5. Steve-O, Bruce Wayne. Sin, 410.
Cyan.
Cyan, 410. Fred, George, and Harley's
we got
dad.
Harley's dad.
Welcome. Deluxe with the 20 donos on the Rumble side.
The only way y'all motherfuckers is going to get in here with the Rumble side right now, because we don't have locals.
Listen, I would,
at this point,
if you're
live with, you got to be in the Discord, damn it. I'm going to go ahead and give it.
Yeah, if you're in the, you going to throw the Rumble in there?
No, that's for the Rumble side. I got to throw the Discord for Rumble, because I'm going to give an unlisted link in the Discord every Saturday night for the members only kind of situation. If y'all want it, you got to be in here.
If you're not a member on the Rumble side, I would jump over the Rumble side, because Tony Hay, Tony Hay, because Deluxe Night is gifting 20 subs. If you are not a sub on the Rumble side, I'd jump over there.
Oh. Is it going? It's going. Yeah, I need to unmute. That's right.
From the president. This is going to be the first on 3 nuclear sites in Iran. That includes Fordow.
Oh, here he comes.
Natanz, and Isfahan.
Let's go.
Looks like President Trump, Vice President Vance, and others. It looks like Secretary Hegseth and Secretary of State Marco Rubio here. Let's listen to the president after the strikes on Iran.
A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities.
This is full screen.
In the Iranian regime, Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue. I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight, and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades. Hopefully, we will no longer need their services in this capacity. I hope that's so. I also want to congratulate the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raisin-Kane, spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved in this attack. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. Looks like I got something to do early in the morning. We got some new viewers in the house. I saw them. Where were they? Boom shakalaka. We got Ken in the house with us. We got let's see. Who else? I noticed somebody else. Greg McNeely.
We got G-Men NC, Tennessee Farm Girl, Sour Cows, the Silverback, Greg McNeely. Welcome, welcome. Deluxe with the dono. Free speech over here. I was censored for stop being a crybaby senator. I could not super chat until I removed senator from my chat. What, here?
No, dude.
Oh, on YouTube?
Yeah, on YouTube. I can't super chat the word treason.
Yeah,
I have to label it treason. No.
Treason.
I was doing it with Robin. He was actually, maybe. And then, boom. It was gone for me. I couldn't do it. Everybody else could do it. K-Beam did it. But I couldn't. It's weird how shit like that happens.
God bless Donald
Oh my God.
Trump. Wow. Amazing.
Let's go. What is this?
Amazing. He is the leader not only of America, but he is a symbol to the world of courage and leadership. Donald Trump, I love you.
Who the fuck is this?
Dove Hyken.
God bless Donald Trump. Wow. Amazing.
Wait, I want to go back to your screen. I want to hear what BB said.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Awesome. To this. Congratulations, President Trump. Your bold decision to target Iran's nuclear facilities with the awesome and righteous might of the United States will change history. In Operation Rising Lion, Israel has done truly amazing things. But in tonight's action against Iran's nuclear facilities, America has been truly unsurpassed. It has done what no other country on earth could do. History will record that President Trump acted to deny the world's most dangerous regime the world's most dangerous weapons. His leadership today has created a pivot of history that can help lead the Middle East and beyond to a future of prosperity and peace. President Trump and I often say, peace through strength. First comes strength, then comes peace. And tonight, President Trump and the United States acted with a lot of strength. President Trump, I thank you. The people of Israel thank you. The forces of civilization thank you. God bless America. God bless Israel. And may God bless our unshakable alliance, our unbreakable faith.
Okay, so there you have it. That was the message from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu thanking the Trump administration in conjunction with an update on Operation Rising Lion that we have been.
All right. We'll see the aftermath. Have we wiped our ass yet? Come on. I want to see what Pete Hegseth has to say.
Well, he's not going to talk until tomorrow, isn't he?
Right, which means I got to get my ass up early.
Iranian Revolutionary Guard. The U.S. must await severe punishment. We will target all American interests in the Middle East. Huh? Huh?
How about this, Davey? We do the little press conference with Pete Hegseth tomorrow.
Okay.
What time do you think is good for you? Because I really don't want to get up that early.
Whatever time.
Come on, you name the time this time.
Just 10
in the morning, or the afternoon, evening, whatever. You want to do 10?
Well, it depends. Yeah, because Amanda might work tomorrow, so I'd rather kind of do it early.
Okay.
Ish. So maybe like noon. Noon
Okay,
Central.
Noon Central. Be 1 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. I want to see how this is played out. I want to see what happened. There's going to be some shit behind this, and I guarantee you. These hearings are now going to talk a lot about this shit. This is going to be fun. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to show you what's coming up here, though. What were those?
What time is it now over there?
Over where?
What time is it in Iran?
Oh, I don't know. You're going to have to Google the time difference. From the oversight, we got National Guard State Partnership Program coming in. That's going to be on the 625. Sacrificing excellence for ideology at the real cost of DEI on the 625. We're going to get about 2 a day. They're rapid firing the fuck out of this yet again. Preparing for the quantum age. We're definitely hearing about this one. When cryptography breaks. Brother, what was I telling you about? You know, we have quantum entanglement. We know how that fucking works. But here's the thing. You can't fucking intercept it.
It is 5:43 in the morning right now. So they are just kind of waking
These
up.
motherfuckers are just waking up to shit exploding.
Oh.
Yeah, we got Davies here with the Postal Service. You want to cover that one?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we got locking in Doge cuts. Those come from the oversight. We got a Doge committee hearing there. Let's see, which one?
To go in and kill them all and ethnically cleanse
Oh my
this region.
Jesus.
In doing so,
That might have to be cut out. Let's see, the National Guard State. What was I looking for? House on the Judiciary.
In related news, the Nobel Peace Prize Committee has nominated Fordow for the Peace Prize.
Judiciary has restoring integrity and security to the visa process. That's on 625. The proxy advisors duopoly anti-competitive conduct. I don't know. The rising threat against America's battle against anti-Semitic behavior or anti-Semitic terror. Yeah, we definitely gonna have to. Is the next fucking week just gonna be these, brother?
Probably.
Fiscal accountability and oversight of the federal courts.
I mean, unless some of this shit pops off around here.
Oh, it definitely will. It definitely will.
That AMRM1 from Iran says Iranian television, stay away from American bases.
Hold up. Let's go to your screen. Let me unmute you. Go ahead.
It says, stay away from Iranian television, stay away from American bases. I mean, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I really don't think these are from today.
All right. Gotta bring it back because you fucked everything up. But yeah. Homeland Security hasn't said shit, though, for a while, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm definitely going to keep a look at everything right now and see what is going on and how everything is doing. But
Iran today, B-2 bombers will not reach it back to the U.S.
What? Hold on. There you go. They're not gonna. That was from foot. They've already. Okay, 1 hour. Okay, so yeah.
And Yemen ready to attack all American ships and warships in the Red Sea.
Hold up. Let's play this. Is this some bullshit or
yeah,
is this real?
It looks like. Well, there's no fucking. Yeah, there's no translation, so I have no fucking idea.
Okay.
I'd switch it off mine just in case.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do this. I appreciate the fuck out of every single one of you. This is gonna shoot the fuck up there. Why is it stuck? It is stuck. Anyway. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. It's gonna shoot up there. And shit's about to get hot. We got rapid fire of Congress going on. People have been working the pizza tracker, Davey. The gay bar tracker.
The gay bar tracker?
Yeah. I can't bring dude, that just happened to be a perfect point in Azure for that. But yeah.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, we about to get into some shit. And I appreciate the fuck out of every single one of you along the ride. But right now, we got to get the fuck out of here. We will be back again tomorrow. What we say?
Noon. Noon Central, 1 Eastern. We'll be back tomorrow to see what Pete Hexhead said. I will probably be heading over to News Hangout for a little while. And
I'll hand him over the third rail over there on Rumble.
And here's Sean freak out because I don't think he likes this. I don't think Sean is a big fan of this right now. So
I'm gonna go actually jump over there with him too. Tell him to give me some too.
Hold on, I'll send. Give me 1 second. I'll let me switch over. She sent me the link.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got to get the fuck up out of here.
I threw it in the
other side, Rumble.
I threw it in the.
I got it
in the Telegram. All right, love you. See y'all tomorrow afternoon.
Take it easy, everybody.
Comes a president. We can't start our own little business here.
That's all I need. make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want, so I'll take it on. I've made mistakes, but mistakes make you strong. Let's break it down for a minute. I want the crown, I'm gon' get it. You hear me loud, man, I'm winning. Yeah, Charlie Sheen will be grinning. These ladies know that I'm sinning, and this is just the beginning. I'm closing in the night inning. There ain't no point in resisting. Living life like a dream, live it right, that's the thing. Every night got a team, I've been tied to the scene. Out on stage, here I'm screaming. Okay, it's a dream, and I pray as a team. One day it'll be me. If I want it, then I'll get it. Head down, don't regret it. Push myself to the limit. If I play it, then I win it. I'm just saying, I'm just living for today. For a minute, I don't stay, I just visit. Have no shame, I admit it. Looking at me to see if I succeed, to see if I believe. They're looking up to me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me.